about how AI has shown up in your work this past year. What's changed day to day in how you support students?
Oh boy. I guess I'll start this one off. So the biggest shift for me uh, has been in the alternate media production realm for our students. So the tasks that used to kind of bottleneck my ability to provide quick access to text-based content or image-based content for students who need alternative formats. AI has drastically sped up that process for me and for the students when it's appropriate for them to use. So I'll just give you a quick example and then I'll let my fellow panelists answer. For example, I'll have students who are blind or low vision approach me in a statistics class, and they may be having challenges interpreting a graph or a chart or some sort of complex image. In the past, they would have to meet with me and wait for me to examine the image and contact the instructor, figure out what the instructor is trying to communicate through the image, make sure that all works because that's not my field, and get that to the student. Now, what I can do is I can instruct the student on proper prompting so they have total independence of identifying what that image says or does, and I now have a much quicker process for converting larger or bulk texts that have lots of images for students. So long as I verify everything and make sure AI is doing what it's supposed to do, AI has shown up in the world of alternate media production in a big way and has sped up the process. Also chopping up books and things like that, but I'll leave it at that. Thank you.
Yeah, no, interesting. Yeah, we'll see what everyone else has to say on this one. But no, I appreciate that, Scott. I think yeah, allowing students to work with a little bit more autonomy is always a great outcome for sure. Hannah, Rosie, any thoughts on that?
Yeah, I feel like I have a very unique experience with AI right now in that I do leverage it a lot for my specific job duties, but we're also constantly evaluating every day what our student advocacy and accountability office dictates as far as what is permissible with AI usage and how that trickles down to the instructors and how they build their syllabi as far as how they direct students. So, I mean, as far as my direct work, I think what it's really done is helped cut out the time that I spend doing a lot of the repetitive front end work so I can automate a lot of the things that otherwise would have eaten up the time that I could spend bringing the human element and exercising judgment. I don't think the challenge is whether or not AI is going to replace human beings. I think it's one of those things where it's meant to be a companion. But the other side of that coin is figuring out how do we create companionship in a space where there's a lot of ambiguity still as far as what is the standard for the institution, what is the standard for each instructor as far as what is proper usage, and knowing that it isn't going anywhere and that it is being encouraged in the workspace. We do kind of have that ownership of this is where they're going to get to next. So, how can we make sure that we're introducing them to these tools in a way where they're not really losing how well their brain works, but they're still able to integrate into the workspace and what comes next after they graduate?
Yeah, no, absolutely, absolutely hear that. It made me smile then because it made me think of a lot of things you talk about with Genio Notes in that we're allowing students, we're doing those kind of things that don't really add anything to the learning process for them. So like searching key topics or whatever it may be, allowing them to be engaged and actually focus on the important stuff. So that definitely resonates there. Hannah, what's your thoughts on this one?
Yeah, I would echo almost everything that Scott and Rosie have already shared. I think the biggest way that it's shown up in work is helping to create captions and alt text and remediate files as well. It really does speed up that process for us in our work. And then also gives the student autonomy, like we were talking about before. Some other ways that it's shown up for me in the last year, particularly at DU, we have really been trying to lean into AI and how that can be a better support for students. And so some other like institution-wide initiatives that we've taken on are like creating an AI student support agent. And so trying to get students connected 24/7, even if the institution isn't open, and kind of helping to train the AI agent to connect students. So not only are we like creating products with AI by like remediating text, but we're also trying to get students connected to the right offices at the right time. And so those have kind of been the two big things that our office has, or our institution has been looking at. And then the third, I'll just say, is like the Genio note taker is here with us as well. That's been a huge support for both students, faculty, and staff, just to keep on top of things, be able to send summaries after conversations with students, because a lot of times students want to let their parents know what's going on, but they don't have a summary yet. So if we send that to them from the AI note taker, it can be really helpful to just facilitate relationships even, which is strange for me to say that like AI can help facilitate relationships, but